Hey everybody, welcome to Anime for Life. Today I'm going to talk about a recent tweet that everybody's favorite dumbass, Mars Girl, has put out. And I'm sure her cult following and herself will be a little pissed at me calling her that, but as you can probably tell by the tone of my voice, I really couldn't care. Um, and the reason why this tweet pissed me off a little bit more than usual, despite her usual tweets having a similar nature to this one, is because Vic recently, a few days ago now, um, at the most recent con, made a very heartfelt, very respectful, and very true speech about how the world today is becoming quite angry. And it's true. It's very true. And you would think there's nothing to argue with against, nothing to twist around, nothing to say, "Oh, that's terrible. That's bad. How could he say that?" But here Mars Girls comes in and proves everyone wrong. Apparently, she can find something to bitch about. Um, and so, after reading this tweet, I decided to make this video, and I will show you that. Sorry, that my thing decides to it doesn't want to stay up straight. Um, but yeah, this is the tweet right here, and it says, "This speech is full of dangerous talk used by narcissists and psychological abusers." And as everybody who's met Vic can tell, he is anything but narcissistic and a psychological abuser. I have been there before. I've met many psychological abusers, and I can say with utmost certainty he is not one of them. He creates a narrative where his touch might be the only thing that can save a person, setting him up to be too important, which makes abuses easier. Now, I have the video that I will play at the end of this video, and I want you to give me your opinions on it for those who haven't seen it yet, and tell me if this is true. And I've seen it, and I can tell you that he is not making his narrative out to be the only one where he is the only one that you can come to that his touch can make everything all better, and he can be the only one to save a person. He is speaking as an example because he's the only one there. So who else can he really use? I mean, I suppose you could argue that he could maybe use somebody in the crowd, but for ease of making the point, he simply uses himself. He is not saying that he has to be the sole person to do it. She is simply saying that to make herself seem relevant and to make her point seem like it has weight. Then she goes on to say, despite previous written apologies, he's not sorry and blames a handful of people for ruining it for everybody, which is true. Everybody can agree and attest that if you're out having a good time at a campfire or time with friends or just having a good time at home even, if some person just comes in with a bad attitude, bitches and whines and moans about everything, that's going to ruin the atmosphere of whatever you're doing. It's going to bring your mood down and it's going to make it so you can't enjoy it as much, if at all, anymore. So, what's your point, Mars Girl? Then she goes on to say, ironically, he asks one person for permission before hugging them, which was all critics were really asking him to do. ask first. That's it. Well, again, he asks them for permission to for hugging them because again, he's trying to prove his point. And the first reason why he even brings up this point is because of a movie he saw, which she says here somehow we get to deflecting with babies need touch. And that's because of the movie he saw was about a girl and a guy who suffer from a disease that um, they can't touch each other because they get sick very, very, very easily. And I can't remember the name of that disease, but I believe he says it in the video. And he uses that um, to prove his point on how everything just is going to hell these days, and how you need to use the interaction with people to basically um, what word should I use? Well, basically define on who you are, I guess is a good way to say it. Because if you have interaction with children, and like as it says, babies need touch, so like the babies, children, and have interaction, physical interaction with them as they grow up, hopefully they will turn out to be good people. As opposed to just ignoring them their whole life, chances are they'll turn out to be rather damaged and not possibly not very good people. And then she goes on to say, and I'm Italian, both of which are irrelevant. That is very untrue. The reason why he says I'm Italian is because the Italian people are actually very hands-on. Their their hugging of people is used as a greeting. It's like how are you? Goodbyes. It's haven't seen you in a long time. It's just something they do. They don't think about it. They just do it. It's like I'm Canadian, and so I just want to for a brief second bring it to me. And so I'm Canadian, and whenever I bump into another person, both of us will say sorry, like instinctively. Like normally you would think the person who's not even fault it is, they probably wouldn't say sorry. They'd probably just say, "Ah, it's okay. Don't worry about it." But we both say sorry instinctively, and it's the same with us just saying "a" all the time in every sentence. We don't even think about it. We just do. And it's gone to the point that "a" actually can be used for many, many, many different meanings, just depending on the inflection on how we use it. And so it's the same with Vic and how he's very hands-on and how he hugs a lot of people. He just doesn't think about it because that's his culture. Just how us Canadians say "a" and sorry for every damn thing we do. That's our culture. He gives hugs and is very close and personable because of his culture. So, no, Mars girl, that does have relevance. And then she goes on to say the gaslighting is real and you can't save people from being gaslit. All you can do is keep speaking and hope one day people realize on their own. Well, we've certainly realized that you're a dumbass and a racist because if people remember how she was saying that black people are one quarter human from her days on Channel Awesome, if I recall correctly. Though I'm not sure how long ago that was, several years ago now, anyway. Well, you sure did a good job on that one, so I suppose she's somewhat right with that one. But I just, I don't see how she can find any any relevance or reason to say that there's something wrong with this. I don't see how she can call him narcissistic. I don't see how she can call him an abuser. But we all know how delusional she is by this point. So I guess if you work hard enough, put your mind hard enough, you can do anything, right? But she just assumes that anything that Vic says, that Vic does, is just automatically a horrible thing, and that he's got some sort of hidden agenda, predatory agenda behind it. And she's just made herself out to be a real bitch. But that's really all I have to say for this video. I don't want to make it too long. So now I'll just leave it at that, and I'll play the clip for you guys, and you tell me, what do you think? Do you think I'm wrong and maybe I'm missing something from this, and she actually does have a point this time and she's not just being a dumbass like she normally is? Or do you think I'm right and that Vic is just being the usual kind-hearted man that we all know and love? And you tell me. And, you know, like and subscribe if you want to see more and you maybe agree with me. Leave a comment sharing your opinions. That would really help me out, and I would love to see what your insight is to this. But yeah, all I gotta say is, Vic, keep strong in all this. Like, we're behind you 100% of the way, and don't give in to all these people who don't have any clue on what they're talking about. And for the rest of you, keep enjoying anime and anime for life.
You reflect on things that are going on, you know what I mean? Difficulties and people, motivations, agendas, you know. I had a thought. I'm going to share it with you guys. It's just a general observation, and I hope you'll take this home with you. Our world is becoming more and more angry. Did you notice that?
Yeah. Yes.
People are angry. People are angry. And here's what I was thinking the other day. I watched a movie on an airplane a few weeks ago. 5 feet apart, 6 feet apart. It was about a girl that had a disease that makes you very susceptible to germs and stuff. And so no one's supposed to get within, like, you're not supposed to get within like 6 feet or 5. And she, cystic fibrosis, could that be it? I think that was what it was. So she was literally in a hospital, like she literally lived in a hospital. And she fell in love with this boy who was also in the hospital with the same disease. So they're not allowed to be near each other, but they really like each other. The movie began, this is the part I want you to hear. The movie began with a little narration. And it was the girl that played the main character girl, and she said this. She said, oh, hold on. I want to get it right.
Take your time. Take your time. Got this, King.
She said something to the effect of, actual studies have shown that children, especially babies and children, need human contact as much as they need air. So here's what I've been contemplating lately. Human contact is being vilified. Do you see it? In our culture, you don't dare reach out and connect with another human. Oh, I'm too afraid. What if they're offended? Yeah, that's why we're in the problem. That's why we're in the world that we're in now. Because I came from an era, and I'm Italian. Any Italians in here? Yeah. Italians. La famiglia. So, all my life, you hug people. You're open and you're kind to people. And And it's interesting to me, I believe that there is a direct correlation. I think there's a direct connection between what is happening in our culture where you don't dare touch somebody and the anger that people feel. People feel so alone and isolated. And people that I've met over the years at conventions, 500 at a time, appreciate the hug and the kindness and that openness. And just a couple don't, just a few. But it ends up ruining it for everybody. Because suddenly you're afraid to just reach out and be kind to somebody. And they may desperately need that. This young lady, I'm going to pick on you.
That's fine.
This young lady could be going through the worst time in her life right now. And it was all she could do. It took every ounce of energy she could find to drag herself to this event to meet me. Okay? And she might be in such a bad place emotionally, been abandoned by a parent or a sibling or a boyfriend, and the fact that I came up, may I?
Yes,
The fact that I came up to her and did this, and looked her in the face, and acknowledged her, and connected with her, might give her the strength she needs to continue. Whereas if I sat behind the table and went, thanks for coming. And then she goes home and she is as lonely and feels as disconnected as she ever did. So I'm not even applying this to my situation. I hope you understand this. I'm talking about our world. People have become so angry and so easily offended by everything. And I really think that there is a connection between the culture that is telling us, don't you dare touch anybody. Don't connect. No human contact. Because it could be offensive or it could be misconstrued. But I think there is a connection between that and the isolation people feel and the anger that they feel. It would never be my desire to hurt anyone. I would never in a billion years want to offend or hurt anyone. That has never been my intention or my desire.
That's why we're here, babe.
Free hugs for
I believe you guys know that about me. And so I just wanted to take a minute because, like I said, I sit around my house alone thinking about these things. Maybe too much. But I really believe that's true. I really believe that's true. So if you have people in your lives, hug them. Reach out and just acknowledge them. That little bit of human contact right there. Now, he could go home and say I assaulted him. And isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? This is not assault, everyone. And you know what? It's actually an offense to people that are actually assaulted. I mean, think about that. So I just want you guys to know my heart. That's all. I want you to know that I appreciate so much you guys being here and your kindness and your support for me and my work over the years. I have taken my position in this industry very seriously as long as I've been in it. I've seen it as something much bigger than just a job. I feel like it's been an opportunity to connect with people and hopefully try to be a positive influence and an encouragement to people. That's been the greatest privilege for me. And I really think that our culture has changed and not for the better. I think people need that human contact, like that movie said. I think it's as valuable to us as oxygen. So I really hope And you know what? There's so many more of us. Do you realize there's so many more good people in the world than there are the offended, outraged? There's so many more of us. But we go about our lives. We're responsible, you know, we have jobs and we have families, we have relationships. We just go about our lives while this handful of people changes the whole landscape. And the majority of us are standing back going, what's going on? Like, how is this happening? So you guys, be a voice for good. Be a voice for light and kindness and connect with people. Because you never know who in your life needs it badly. You know? Sorry. Soapbox is